The stars above Earth shone like scattered diamonds, but no one in the Galactic Empire thought much about this small, blue planet. They called it primitive, harmless, a world of weak humans who barely understood space travel. They had no idea that Earth was hiding a secret, one that could change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. Deep inside a hidden shipyard, far below the surface of the Pacific Ocean, lights flickered in a massive hangar. The hum of machinery filled the air. Mara, one of humanity's best engineers, moved quickly across the floor, her boots echoing against the metal walls. She paused in front of a sleek, angular ship, unlike anything the Empire had ever imagined. Its hull shimmered with a faint blue glow, and strange patterns ran along its surface. This was the first of the human warships the galaxy would never expect. Mara wiped the sweat from her forehead and checked the control panel. The ship's systems hummed to life, responding to her commands as if it understood her perfectly. Every part of it had been designed with one goal in mind: to give humanity a chance against enemies who believed they were untouchable. She smiled faintly, though her heart pounded. Soon, the Empire would be here, and they would see that humans were not as weak as they thought. Outside, the calm of space hid the approaching danger. Empire scouts had entered the solar system hours ago, moving quietly past the orbit of Mars. They scanned the planets, sending reports back to their commanders. "Primitive life detected on Earth," one scout reported. "No signs of advanced technology. Planet is safe to ignore." They were wrong. Very wrong. Back in the hangar, Mara activated the ship's final systems. The engines glowed, the weapons came online, and the hull seemed to hum with power. She took a deep breath, her fingers hovering over the launch console. Her team watched her, silent but tense. This moment had been years in the making. Humans had worked in secret, building ships that could outmatch the Empire's scouts, ships that moved faster, hit harder, and could survive attacks the Empire never imagined. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. A red light flashed across the room. Mara's heart skipped a beat. She rushed to the main screen. A blip appeared, moving fast, an approaching ship from the Empire. The scouts were closer than anyone had thought. The team had less than 10 minutes before the first contact. Mara's voice was calm but firm. "Prepare for launch. This is what we trained for." Outside, the scout ship glided silently over Earth's orbit, unaware of the hidden warships waiting below. The Empire believed this was a routine mission, a simple check on a minor planet. But the humans had plans the Empire could not guess. Mara's ship slowly lifted from the hangar, engines glowing, its shadow reflecting across the ocean waves. The scout ship scanned the area. Its sensors picked up nothing unusual. "All clear," the Empire pilot reported, his voice confident. He did not know that the first strike was about to come from a planet they had underestimated. Mara's ship, invisible to their sensors, moved into position behind an asteroid in the belt near Mars. Mara glanced at her team. "Remember, speed and surprise. Hit fast, disappear faster. We cannot let them call for reinforcements." Her voice carried both fear and determination. They were humans, small in number and size compared to the Empire, but their minds and courage were unmatched. The seconds felt like hours. Then Mara gave the order. Her ship surged forward, engines flaring as it emerged from hiding. Lasers fired from the human ship, striking the scout ship with precision. Explosions lit up the darkness of space. The Empire ship jolted, systems failing. The humans struck fast, calculated, and deadly. The scout crew scrambled, shocked by the sudden attack. "What is this? How?" But it was too late. The human warship vanished into the asteroid belt, leaving the Empire ship damaged and confused. Reports sent back to the Empire could not explain the attack. They had never faced tactics like this. Humans were clever, unpredictable, and resourceful. Mara's ship returned to the hangar, engines cooling. Her team cheered quietly, but she did not smile. This was only the beginning. The Empire would come again, stronger, faster, and they would expect humans to be weak. But Mara knew humanity had one advantage the Empire could never understand: the will to survive and the courage to fight against impossible odds. As the stars shone outside, Mara stared at the night sky. Somewhere out there, the Empire fleet was moving toward Earth, unaware that humans were ready. And when they arrived, they would learn that strength was not measured by size or numbers. The humans of Earth had hidden power, power they had been waiting to reveal. A sudden beep from the control panel caught Mara's attention. A message appeared, encrypted and urgent. New fleet approaching. Larger than before. Prepare for battle. Mara's eyes narrowed. The test attack had been just a warning. Now the real fight was about to begin. She took a deep breath. The humans were ready. The galaxy would soon discover that Earth was not weak. And no one, not even the Empire, would see what came next. The Empire scouts had barely recovered from the sudden attack when the humans struck again. Mara and her team watched from the hidden hangar, their eyes fixed on the monitors. The damaged scout ship was retreating, but its sensors had already sent warnings back to the Empire fleet. "Commander, they are not primitive," one Empire officer said, his voice tight with disbelief. "Their ships, their tactics, impossible." Back on Earth, the humans were ready. Mara's team had spent months preparing for this moment. Every warship was hidden, every system tested, every pilot trained. They were few in number, but each one knew the difference between survival and destruction. Mara glanced at the communications screen. "We send the message," she said. Her fingers moved quickly, typing a simple but bold warning. "Do not underestimate Earth. We will fight." The message was broadcast across space, reaching the Empire scouts as they limped toward their fleet. The officers stared at the display in shock. A warning from primitive humans? How dare they? But the Empire did not understand. They saw only what they wanted to see. They assumed the humans were bluffing, weak, and incapable of real attack. That mistake would cost them dearly. Near the asteroid belt, Mara's prototype warship waited, hidden in the shadows. Smaller human ships followed her lead, their engines silent, their weapons ready. Every move was calculated, every angle covered. They would strike only when the Empire fleet was most vulnerable. The first contact was sudden. A human fighter darted out from behind an asteroid, firing a pulse of energy that disabled the scout ship's engines. Another ship followed, targeting the communication arrays. The Empire officers scrambled to respond, but humans were everywhere at once, appearing where no one expected them. Mara watched the battle unfold on the monitors, her heart racing. The humans had no intention of destroying the scouts completely. This was a warning, a demonstration of what they could do. But the Empire did not take warnings lightly. Reinforcements would arrive soon, bigger ships, stronger firepower, and more deadly weapons. The humans had only one advantage: their creativity. They moved unpredictably, hiding among asteroids, using stealth fields, and striking from angles the Empire had never considered. Even the damaged scout ships struggled to track them. Suddenly, alarms sounded on Mara's ship. A new blip appeared on the radar. An Empire frigate, much larger than the scouts, was approaching fast. "They're bringing reinforcements," Mara said. "Prepare for the worst." Her team moved with precision, each pilot following the plan. Mara's own ship moved closer to the frigate, its weapons ready. She thought of the Empire fleet as a giant predator, confident and dangerous, but unaware of the trap ahead. As the frigate entered the asteroid field, human ships attacked from all sides. Laser fire cut through space, and explosions lit the darkness. The Empire officers on the frigate were shocked by the sudden attack. "They are not simple humans," one yelled. "How are they doing this?" Mara gritted her teeth. Humans had waited for this moment for decades, learning, preparing, hiding their true strength. And now, they were showing it for the first time. The battle continued, fast and intense. The humans were not stronger in number, but they were smarter. They knew the terrain, used surprise, and struck with precision. Mara's heart raced as she guided her ship through the chaos, dodging enemy fire, and hitting vital targets. Minutes passed like hours. Finally, the Empire frigate, overwhelmed and confused, began to retreat. Mara did not celebrate. She knew this was only the beginning. The Empire would send more ships, larger fleets, and stronger weapons. The humans had won the first battle, but the war was just starting. She looked at her team. We have sent a message. They know humans are not weak. And now, we wait for what comes next. Outside the hangar, the stars shone calmly, hiding the storm that was approaching. Mara knew the galaxy would soon change forever. The humans of Earth were no longer to be ignored. And when the next wave arrived, the Empire would learn a lesson they could never forget. The damaged Empire frigate returned to the outer edges of the solar system, carrying a warning the officers could barely believe. Humans were not weak. Their technology was advanced, their tactics unpredictable, and their courage unmatched. But the Empire refused to admit the truth. They called it a fluke, an isolated incident, a minor irritation. On Earth, Mara and her team watched the scanners closely. The calm in space was only temporary. The Empire fleet was organizing a larger attack, sending word to commanders in distant systems. Mara could feel the tension in the hangar, in every human heart. They were small in number, but they had something the Empire did not: ingenuity, determination, and the will to survive. Suddenly, the radar lit up with multiple blips. A large fleet of Empire warships was moving fast toward the solar system. Mara's eyes narrowed. "They are coming," she said. Her voice was calm, but her fingers trembled slightly on the console. "This time, we face more than scouts. This is their real force." Her team prepared the warships. Each ship was loaded, tested, and ready. Weapon systems hummed, engines glowed, and energy shields flickered into life. Humans would not strike first this time. They would wait, hidden among asteroids, ready to use surprise to their advantage. In the darkness of space, the Empire fleet approached, confident and arrogant. They had numbers, size, and firepower on their side. They believed humans were still primitive, unable to defend themselves against such overwhelming forces. But the humans had learned from the first attack. They knew how to strike fast, hide, and vanish before the enemy could respond. Mara's team moved silently, positioning their ships in secret locations. Some took the orbit of Mars, others hid behind asteroids, and a few drifted near the asteroid belt. Every ship had a role, every pilot knew the plan. A young pilot, Jace, peered out from his cockpit. "Mara, they are coming closer." "How many of them are there?" "Enough to overwhelm us if we fight openly," Mara replied. "But we won't fight like they expect. We fight smart. We fight hidden. And we fight together." The Empire fleet entered the solar system, scanning for human activity. Their sensors detected nothing unusual. "This planet is unprepared," one officer said. "The humans cannot defend themselves." Mara clenched her jaw. That arrogance would be their downfall. Then, without warning, the humans struck. Small warships darted out from behind asteroids, attacking from angles the Empire could not anticipate. Lasers hit engines and shields, disabling key ships before the larger fleet could respond. The Empire officers scrambled to organize their forces, but chaos spread quickly among their ranks. Mara's ship moved closer to the front lines. She guided her team with precision, striking, retreating, and striking again. Every maneuver was calculated, every shot aimed at the weak points of the enemy. The humans were fast, clever, and unpredictable. But the Empire was not easily defeated. Larger ships arrived, bringing heavy weapons and reinforcements. Explosions lit the darkness of space as human ships dodged and countered with surprising agility. It was a battle of brains against brawn, speed against size, strategy against sheer force. Mara knew this would not be the last attack. The Empire would learn from their mistakes, sending even stronger fleets next. But she also knew humans had an advantage no one in the galaxy understood: creativity, courage, and the unwillingness to give up. As the battle raged, Mara's team disabled a key command ship, causing confusion among the Empire forces. Some ships retreated in panic, others tried to regroup, but humans were everywhere at once, striking and disappearing. The Empire fleet had never faced an enemy like this, and their confidence began to crack. Finally, Mara gave the order to retreat temporarily. "We've sent our message," she said. "They know we are not weak. They know they cannot underestimate us. That is enough for now." Her ships pulled back, hiding once again among asteroids and debris. The Empire fleet lingered, scanning for more attacks, unsure of what they had just faced. Mara looked at her team. They were tired, but their eyes shone with determination. Humans had survived, and they had proven themselves capable. Outside, the stars continued to shine, calm and indifferent. But the quiet was only temporary. The Empire fleet would return, stronger and faster. And when they did, Mara and the humans would be ready. The galaxy had begun to notice Earth. And humans had only just revealed the first spark of their hidden power. A warning message reached Mara's console: multiple fleets approaching. Estimated arrival, 24 hours. She took a deep breath. The real battle was coming. The humans were ready to face it. The Empire fleet had arrived in the outer solar system, a massive line of warships stretching across the void. Their weapons gleamed like sharp teeth, their engines roaring with power. They believed humans would panic, would flee, and would be crushed easily. They were wrong. Mara's heart pounded as she watched the approaching ships on the main screen. She stood in the command center, fingers hovering over the console, ready to give orders. Around her, the human fleet moved silently, hidden among asteroids and debris. Every pilot knew the plan. Every ship had a role. They were small in number, but their strategy was unmatched. The first shots fired suddenly. Mara's ship led the attack, darting from the shadows of an asteroid belt. Laser beams struck the Empire's forward ships, disabling engines and shields before they could react. Other human ships attacked from different directions, appearing as if from nowhere. The Empire officers were stunned. How are they moving so fast? How are they everywhere at once? One yelled. "This is impossible." Mara smiled faintly. "It's not impossible," she said. "It's human." The battle raged near Saturn's rings, asteroids spinning and exploding as laser fire cut through space. The humans did not try to destroy the fleet outright. Their goal was precision: strike, confuse, and vanish. Their tactics were clever, using decoys, stealth fields, and speed that the Empire could not match. Mara watched as her small strike team approached the largest ship in the enemy fleet, the flagship. It was a massive vessel, bristling with weapons and shields stronger than anything they had seen before. Mara's jaw tightened. "We have one chance," she whispered. "Disable that ship, and the rest will falter." Her team split into smaller units, weaving through explosions and fire. Mara guided her ship close to the flagship's weak points, firing targeted energy pulses. Shields flared, and alarms blared across the Empire ship. Mara's team dodged counterattacks, striking again and again with surgical precision. The Empire flagship shook violently, its crew panicking as systems failed. Other ships tried to protect it, but humans attacked from unexpected angles. Some smaller human ships pretended to retreat, then returned to strike from behind. The Empire fleet could not predict their moves. Jace, the young pilot, led a daring run through the enemy formation, taking out the communication arrays. The Empire ships were confused, unable to coordinate. Mara's plan was working. Humans, small and underestimated, had become the hunters. Hours seemed to pass in minutes. Explosions lit the darkness, and energy beams streaked across space. Human ingenuity and courage clashed with the Empire's sheer firepower. Despite being outnumbered, humans were winning through intelligence, teamwork, and unpredictability. Finally, Mara's strike team reached the flagship's core. A carefully aimed blast hit a critical junction, sending sparks and fire across the massive hull. The flagship trembled and lost control. Other Empire ships faltered without orders. Confusion spread through their ranks like wildfire. Mara's voice came through the comms. "Pull back. Return to base. We've sent the message. The Empire knows we are not weak." Human ships retreated, weaving back through the asteroid belt. Behind them, the Empire fleet was in chaos, struggling to regroup. Mara knew they had survived the first major clash, but the war was far from over. Her team returned to the hidden hangar, exhausted but exhilarated. They had faced overwhelming power and survived. Humans had proven that numbers and size were not everything. Intelligence, courage, and creativity could turn the tide of war. Mara stared at the stars, calm despite the storm around them. Somewhere in the galaxy, the Empire would reassess its plans. Humans had shown their strength, and the galaxy had begun to take notice. A warning pinged on her console: Empire reinforcements estimated in 48 hours. Prepare for the next wave. Mara's eyes narrowed. The first battle was won, but the war had only begun. The humans of Earth had made their stand, and the galaxy would never forget it. The Empire retreated after their flagship was damaged, but they were far from defeated. Across the galaxy, alarms rang on their other fleets. Word had spread: humans were clever, fast, and deadly. The Empire's commanders were furious. They had underestimated a small, blue planet, and they would not make that mistake again. On Earth, Mara and her team prepared for what was coming. The warning had arrived: a massive fleet was moving toward the solar system. Larger than anything the humans had faced, with heavier weapons, more shields, and deadly firepower. Mara's heart tightened. The stakes had never been higher. "Everyone, listen carefully," Mara said to her team. "This is not a test. They are bringing everything they have. But we have something they don't: creativity, intelligence, the will to survive. We will fight smart. And we will survive." Her team nodded. Pilots ran final checks, engineers calibrated shields, and weapon systems hummed to life. Humans were outnumbered, but not outsmarted. Every ship had a role, every pilot knew the plan. They would turn the Empire's strength against them. The Empire fleet entered the solar system, stretching across the void like a black wall. Their guns glimmered, ready to fire, and their engines burned brightly. They believed humans would fight openly, die in numbers, and be crushed. They had no idea humans were preparing something completely different. Mara's eyes scanned the monitors. Target their command ships first. Disable communication. Then hit weak points. Move fast. Strike hard. Retreat before they can respond. Her voice was calm but firm. The first wave of attacks began. Human ships darted out from asteroid shadows, striking with precision. Lasers disabled engines, shields, and weapon arrays. Smaller human vessels acted as decoys, drawing fire and confusing the Empire fleet. The larger ships moved unpredictably, outmaneuvering enemy fire. One young pilot, Jace, led a daring maneuver through the middle of the enemy formation. His ship twisted and turned, dodging beams that could destroy him in an instant. He fired a single pulse at a shield generator, and sparks flew across the massive Empire ship. The enemy faltered, stunned by such a small, precise attack. Mara watched, impressed but tense. Every human ship was performing perfectly, but the enemy numbers were overwhelming. They could not stay in open battle for long. Every second counted. The Empire tried to respond, firing volleys of energy, but the humans were everywhere at once. They struck, vanished, and struck again. The Empire fleet could not predict their moves. Confusion spread quickly among the massive ships, and some began retreating, unsure of what they faced. Mara realized the turning point had to come. "Prepare the hidden fleet," she said. "This is it. The trap must work." From the asteroid belt, the remaining human ships emerged suddenly. Larger vessels that had been hidden in stealth fields now moved in perfect formation. They surrounded the largest Empire ships, cutting off escape routes. Laser beams streaked across space like lightning, striking critical systems. The Empire officers scrambled to react, but humans had already planned every move. Explosions lit the darkness. The Empire's communication arrays were down, their formation broken. Mara's team moved with precision, disabling key ships while avoiding direct confrontation. Humans had turned the battle into a war of brains against brawn. Finally, Mara's ship struck the final blow, hitting a critical junction on one of the largest enemy vessels. Sparks and fire erupted across the hull. The ship trembled, then went silent. Without their command ship, the rest of the fleet faltered, retreating in disarray. Mara exhaled, her body tense from the hours of battle. "It's done for now," she said. Her team cheered quietly, but she knew the war was far from over. The Empire would return, stronger, faster, and more determined. Humans had won a major victory, but the galaxy was vast, and threats were everywhere. She looked at the stars outside the hangar, calm despite the chaos. Somewhere out there, other civilizations were watching, learning that humans were not weak. Mara knew Earth had sent a clear message: underestimate humans, and you do so at your own peril. A warning pinged on her console. Mara opened it and saw the message: Empire recovering. Reinforcements approaching from multiple systems. Estimate: 72 hours. Her eyes narrowed. The humans had survived another attack. But this was only the beginning. The galaxy would never forget the small, blue planet that fought with brains, courage, and unyielding determination. Mara turned to her team. "Rest for now. But stay ready. They will come again, and we will be ready to show them what humans are truly capable of." The humans of Earth had survived wave after wave of the Empire's attacks, but Mara knew the next battle would decide more than just survival. The Empire was not giving up. They were sending everything they had, and humans had to be smarter, faster, and braver than ever. Mara studied the scanners in the hidden command center. "We have one chance," she said. "We lure them into the trap. Near Jupiter's moons. That is where they will meet us." Her team nodded, tension in their eyes. Every pilot understood the stakes. The Empire had massive firepower, shields stronger than anything humans had seen, and warships far larger than their own. But humans had one advantage the Empire could never calculate: creativity. The fleet moved into position. Human warships hid behind the massive moons of Jupiter, using the planet's gravity and shadows to mask their presence. Mara's ship led a small squadron to bait the Empire fleet, acting as if they were retreating. The Empire took the bait. Confident, arrogant, they pursued. "Now," Mara whispered. From the shadows, the hidden human fleet emerged. Larger warships that had been cloaked appeared suddenly, surrounding the Empire ships on all sides. Laser fire erupted, hitting critical systems before the Empire could respond. Confusion spread instantly through the enemy formation. The Empire commanders were stunned. "Impossible! They should be retreating. How are they here?" one yelled. But humans were everywhere at once. Their small ships darted around, striking from angles the Empire had never imagined. Mara guided her ship through the chaos, targeting the flagship. A calculated energy pulse hit the shield generator. Sparks flew. The flagship shuddered, alarms blaring. Other Empire ships, without command, faltered and collided with each other in panic. Jace, the young pilot, led a daring maneuver through the enemy's rear formation. With precise attacks, he disabled the fleet's engines one by one. The Empire's superior numbers no longer mattered. Humans had outsmarted them, turning the battlefield into a trap. Explosions lit the dark space around Jupiter. Asteroids spun, shields flared, and energy beams streaked like lightning. The Empire fleet tried to regroup, but Mara's team was always one step ahead. Every attack had been planned. Every escape route calculated. Humans fought with intelligence, courage, and ingenuity. After hours of battle, the Empire flagship collapsed, its systems failing. Other ships, seeing the flagship's destruction, began to retreat in disorder. Humans had won a stunning victory, achieving maximum effect with minimal losses. Mara exhaled slowly. Her team cheered quietly, but she did not smile. She knew the Empire would return, and the galaxy was far from safe. But this battle proved one undeniable truth: humans were not weak, they were clever, and they could overcome impossible odds. As her ship floated silently above Jupiter's shadowed moons, Mara gazed at the stars. Somewhere in the galaxy, civilizations were watching, learning that Earth was not a place to underestimate. The humans had struck fear into the Empire, not with size or firepower alone, but with courage and creativity. A ping sounded on her console. A new message flashed, unknown alien signal detected. Possible fleet approaching. Mara's eyes narrowed. The humans had won this battle, but the universe had only begun to notice them. She turned to her team. Rest for now. Celebrate this victory. But stay alert. Greater challenges are coming, and humanity will need to be ready for them. The stars around Jupiter shone quietly, almost peacefully. Yet the calm was only temporary. Somewhere in the vastness of space, new threats were stirring. Humans had proven their strength, but the galaxy's story was far from over. And for the first time, Mara felt something new. The pride of knowing that humanity had truly begun to surprise the galaxy. The Empire fleet retreated in disorder, its massive warships battered and confused. For the first time, they had seen humans fight with intelligence, courage, and creativity that no one had expected. Earth had sent a message across the galaxy. Do not underestimate humanity. Mara watched the scanners in the command center. Her team had survived wave after wave of attacks. Their warships were scratched and battered, but they were alive. Humans had faced overwhelming odds and had not only survived, they had triumphed. The small hangar filled with quiet cheers and relieved laughter. Engineers moved among the ships, repairing damage and refueling. Pilots stretched, tired but exhilarated. Mara smiled faintly, proud of what they had achieved. They had done the impossible. Outside, the stars shone calmly, as if nothing had happened. But Mara knew better. The galaxy had changed. Humans were no longer the weak, primitive species the Empire had dismissed. Other civilizations had begun to notice, and whispers of Earth's surprising power spread across the stars. Mara turned to her team. We've won this battle, she said. But we cannot relax. The galaxy is vast, and there are forces out there far stronger than the Empire. We must be ready for anything. The young pilot Jace grinned. They'll think twice before attacking us again. Yes, Mara agreed. But we must never underestimate what's coming. Today was victory, but tomorrow, the challenge will be greater. A sudden ping on the console caught Mara's attention. A new message appeared, this time not from the Empire. The screen showed an encrypted signal, alien in design. No words, only symbols and coordinates. Mara's eyes narrowed. Something else, something bigger is out there, she whispered. The room was silent, but every human felt the tension. They had faced the Empire and won, but the universe was vast and full of unknown dangers. The humans of Earth had proven themselves capable of surviving the impossible. They had outsmarted fleets, turned traps into victories, and shown the galaxy that courage and intelligence could outweigh size and firepower. But the message flashing on the console reminded them, the story was far from over. Mara looked at the stars, calm yet determined. Humans had survived. Humans had won. But humanity had only begun to surprise the galaxy. And when the new threat arrived, they would be ready. Somewhere in the dark reaches of space, something watched. Something powerful. And for the first time, it had noticed humanity. The small blue planet spun silently in the void, unassuming yet unstoppable. Humans had started their journey into the stars as the galaxy's underestimated species. Now, they were becoming a force no one could ignore. And somewhere, beyond the known systems, a new challenge waited, one that would test human courage, intelligence, and ingenuity like never before. Mara turned back to her team, her eyes shining. Prepare for the future. Humanity has proven it can survive the impossible. And the galaxy is about to see what we are truly capable of. The stars shimmered above Earth, endless and unyielding. Humanity had survived, and humanity would rise. The adventure was just beginning.